Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave. Wish you a very special Sunday over here from Helsinki, Finland. Another early morning for me, but coming at you from a new angle. Just trying out a new camera right now, so hopefully this one goes well. Please do let me know. As always, looking for feedback, but I want to be wishing you well as well. Of course, more importantly, always wishing you the best, the happiest of the happiest, as we actually do have some Bitcoin action to start the day off as I'm just waking up. A little bit of a move down to the low of our very preliminary support. So let's actually start off with the lower time frames right now, as Bitcoin having a massive wick down to 3860-ish area. Basically just taking a little tappy tap at this lower support right here, which actually a little bit better seen on perhaps the 2-hour dildo time frame. There we go. As you can see that we are kind of forming an ascending broadening wedge, which typically is a bearishly resolved pattern. Now, not always, of course, with each and every pattern. I've seen every goddamn pattern, every breakout, every possible way. But typically speaking, I would be looking for a move down below 3850 to actually have that confirmed to the downside, and that actually would imply a measured move down around to low 3800, which, keep in mind, from a higher time frame perspective, that doesn't really change anything from the medium term picture. But while we're here on the lower term time frames, I do want to denote some more changes that we are seeing. We are seeing divergence emerge in just about every time frame underneath, I believe, a 6-hour. Here's a 4-hour, 1, 2, 3 stabs. Yes, and likely coming back down for a little bit. Actually, did we just have that down to the 21? I believe that we did. What about the 6-hour? Do we have bearish divergence on the 6-hour? We do, ever so slightly. So again, I believe that is the highest time frame that we do actually see it on. We also do see the RSI losing the EMA right there. And you can see that the 6-hour Stokes are actually crossed up right now. So funnily enough, we have a lot of our medium-term timeframes disagreeing with each other, which does make this very difficult. However, it is starting to emerge that they're all getting very, 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 very high. So let's actually go look at them. 2-hour is actually turning down right now. 3-hour, I believe, is fresh cross down. 4-hour is hinting at a cross down. 5-hour is getting up there. But still crossed up. We just saw the 6-hour. What about the 8-hour? 8-hour is hinting at a cross down. That will be confirmed in the next hour and 10 minutes if Bitcoin is here or lower. 10-hour is, doing the same thing essentially. And 12-hour is also looking a little bit tired. So all of the medium-term timeframes are either very, 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 very high and turning or starting to turn. Not only that, but if we do go to the 2-day dildo timeframe, you can see that the 2-day dildo Stokes right here are technically still down. It's gonna take a move above 3,900 for these guys to actually cross up, which they will get another tick tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. Yes. No. Sorry, I apologize about that. I'm wrong on that. They just got a new one last night, and yes, as long as it is below 3,900, it will remain uncrossed. This is unconfirmed as of right now. 3-day, however, is going to be closing tonight, and that will have a chance to actually confirm down. And once again, these crosses in these ranges have been pretty damn accurate for the past year. Each and every time that we've actually seen a 3-day dildo Stoke cross to the downside, it has led on to a move to the downside portion of the range. This was your January highs of this year, actually. This was your November dump from 6,000 to 3,000. This was your August dump from 8,400 to 6,000. This was your September dump from 7,400 to 6,000. This was your May dump from 10,000 to 6,000, and this was your double top somewhere around 12,000 in February last year. Anyways, while we're here, we will have a chance to close above the yellow 21 exponential moving average by the end of today as well. So there's a lot of competing narratives going on, and I really dislike being medium-term time frame bearish if we are actually closing 3-day dildos above the 21 exponential. So while I am presenting all these things in the lower time frames, I do want to be very, 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 very clear. If you want to make this simple, and this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you want to make this simple, all you have to do right here, this is all it has to be. Whichever one breaks first, the yellow 21 exponential moving average or the cyan 89 exponential moving average. And by the way, because it has been so long in this range, they are now getting closer and closer. And the 21 exponential is actually above 3,800. It's technically 3,805. The 89 exponential is 3,935. So we do put more pressure upon there. If Bitcoin does break above 39.35, if we actually close a high level dildo above there, remember, we have not done that just yet. We have had a couple wicks, but wicks, I need to see a closure. I need to see actual conviction in the market. If that were to happen, I would be looking for a quick move to about 4,200-ish area, and probably reaccumulate there and probably try higher to around 43, 44, 44 most likely. Anyways, By the same token, if we do break to the downside below 38, let's just call it 3800, the 21 exponential, then yes, I would be bearish in the medium-term timeframes, and the higher timeframes, I'm certainly very bearish, as nothing's really changed there. But more importantly, when looking at something like this, I do want to be very cognizant of what the implications are. If we do break 3800, that would put immediate pressure to the downside. I would be looking for a quick retest of this descending trend line that goes all the way back from late November, which would currently be coming in around price action around 36.50. So I would be looking for a move down around there, retest that area. I would be looking for a bounce off that area in the medium term timeframes. This is like price action that emerges over a week, and a bounce that probably gets sold into, and then we actually move down to the range lows at around 3,400 if that were to happen. So as you can see right now, we are right at a major decision point, which will change the medium term outlook. Right now, it is more neutral than anything, as I don't like going against 4-hour bearish divergence. I don't like going against 6-hour Stokes being up. I don't like going against daily Stokes being up as well, which they are, and the daily Stokes have been very good this past year as well. It's actually a fresh cross up and gaining a lot of momentum up as well. The other indicators not telling us all that much about price action right now. You can see that at the current level, this 3940-ish area, we have a lot of resistances coming in around. We have the Cyan 89 exponential. We have the 236 Fibonacci retracement. We have these nice historical horizontal trend lines coming in all the way back from late November last year. We also have plenty of higher level time frame confluences coming in this area as well. Let's actually do it right now. We got the monthly. We have the monthly 50 exponential coming in right around here. That's your green moving average, which is about 38.80. So we're actually technically above it right now by a few ticks, but that's okay. So again, it's initiated on a monthly basis. 2-week dildo time frame, which will not be closing tonight, it will be closing next week at 7 p.m. Eastern time, is right at this 10 simple moving average, this red moving average that has held price action back for the last over a year. We have not been able to both open and close a 2-week dildo above it, and more importantly, the last time that we actually even got above it was a massive trap. You can see right now it is currently a little bit above price action at around 3,900, almost even. So again, another thing that to me is starting to really surmount the current price action. Let's go over to the 4-day. I believe that we did just close another one last night, and we actually did close above the yellow 21 exponential. So this would be this would actually be pretty bullish for me. Now, of course, is it the 21 exponential to be respected? Well, yes, I would argue yes, because whenever I see a death cross on a time frame, as long as you're below the 21, I will respect that death cross as the governing factor. And the fact that we actually closed above it does put a little bit of a dent in that argument. So that would be a good counterpoint to what I'm saying. However, still, all of the other higher time frames agreeing with each other, a lot of things coming around this area. And until it's actually broken, more importantly, what I really want to get out here as a trader, I don't want to be taking longs to the upside until I get a full-on confirmation that it's broken. And again, like I said, I'm in no rush to get into a position right now. I'm in no rush to really even make a trade at all, to be quite honest. But I'm in no rush to get into a position, because if we do break to the upside, there's likely significant upside. 40, I'd say probably 42 very, very quickly, and probably overall, 44, right around here. That's kind of where I'd be looking at. I'm curious what the volume profile would be saying. Yeah, you can see volume profile right here. As soon as you get above 41, 4200-ish area, you can actually start flying a little bit. If we go down to the lower time frames and look at our current area, you will notice also, as soon as 3940 is taken out, very little stopping you from this area right here, and it's not much to deal with to begin with. Very low market acceptance is the correct technical term, although I just say no one's doing business, because that's really what it is. Anyways, let me get rid of, is this an alert? I don't want that alert. Can I get rid of that? Oh, that's a point of control. Ha! Just being so silly. Anyways, yeah, so that's what I'm looking at right now, and in overall, lower time frames do to me look like they want to. Well, they did just have that. They did just have that dump from 39 to 36. Sorry, from 3,900 to 3,860. So can we expect much more on this? Typically speaking, whenever I do see all these like medium-term timeframes turn with each other, we actually do get some good momentous moves. So again, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, are all agreeing with each other. 4 hour is about to join the party if we end the next hour here or lower in price action. 5 hours going to be doing the same thing. 8 hours, same thing. 10 hours, same thing. 12 hour, to be decided. We can't make a full on call on that just yet. You will notice that this dump actually was beholden by or upheld by, better spoken, by the 10 simple moving average on the 12-hour Dildo time frame. So again, which was also the 4-hour 21. So, if you are trading these very low time frames, just understand that the edge is pretty small unless you're playing, for the big break. If this is going to be a broadening wedge, then the support right here would be 38.50. If that actually does get taken out, then technically the measurement would be somewhere down around here, around 3,800. $50, is that crazy? No, but what happens if we actually break out of the range below 3,800? Now that's where things start to change around for the medium-term time frame. Again, putting it into confluence with each other. I want to make sure that that is a very, 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 very abundantly clear, as this can be an incredibly tricky area to trade right now. If if you're being a little bit too gung-ho. Of course, I'm not trying to be anyone's dad or anything like that. That's not my intention. But I just see a lot of people, over trading on a weekend when really very little happens on a weekend. As you can see, we haven't broken the range one way or the other. So, we actually got perfect wicks up into the top side of this range, just about. So again, that's what we're saying. I mean, technically speaking, because we are at a resistance, because we're in an overall downwards market, I will always take a short in this area. Yes, I did take a short at 39.20 on my main account. I'm not playing my streamer account right now. I do not believe that this is worth trading on my streamer account. But on my main account, I will take a small position, which I did at 39.20 on the rejection yesterday. This comeback right here, once we started turning some of the low level stokes, and put in divergence on the lower time frames, that's when I took position. But I did get out of most of it on this last down, unfortunately, because Deribit does not move with BitMEX, or not nearly as much. On this wick down to 38.60, I got filled on none of my orders all the way from 38.60 to 38.75. Very fucking annoying. Very fucking annoying. But that's a part of the game. So again, I will be getting out of the rest of this if we do close anywhere above 3,900, and just be happy with a $20 scalp rather than try to force this one, because this range has been very tricky. Anyways, going back to the 3-day old time frame, we do have a few things to talk about. This overall price structure does look corrective to me. It looks corrective in nature just because of the overall shape and the volume signature as well. You can see that nice orderly drop off in volume going from left to right, which is actually a lot more apparent on an exchange like Bitstamp, Finex, GDAX, all these other ones, because BitMexico got popular like late in 2018, and because it trades versus the dollar, it shows a little bit of a different signature overall, but you actually still do get that signature more importantly. Anyways, while we are here, if this is going to be, if we can look at this as consolidation, then I want to go to back to those higher timeframes that we looked at earlier, the 2-week and the monthly in particular, and we can see right here that let's actually go to the BLX. You can see right here that, yes, the 10 simple is holding price action down, again, coming in right around 3,900. But with this, if I were to interpret this as consolidation, if I was to interpret this as some sort of a massive consolidation coming off of a very incredible downtrend, well, then I'm going to be looking at these two moving averages right here. That's a 21 exponential and the green 55 exponential, which have crossed the downside. We have the lower period cross the downside of the higher period, which tells us that the trend is shifting down and gaining momentum to the downside as these two moving averages diverge from each other while being beholden by the lowest period average, moving average, that is the red 10 symbol right here. So as this becomes more and more mature, and as long as we are living below that 10 simple, which again is 3,900, I do look at this to be the main resistance for an immediate move. So I actually am happy to take shorts in that range. But of course, just like anything, nothing's guaranteed. And, again, another lucky position where I'm going to be able to have a stop loss and profit. That doesn't always work out like that. Usually when I get stopped out, I take a loss. But again, just a few. I feel like I've had a few examples where that hasn't been the case, and I don't want to join like the ranks of all the fucking crypto Twitter people who say, "Fuck, my ID didn't work out. Stopped out in profit though." It's like, shut the fuck up. Or my favorite one is, "Stopped out at break even. No problem, bro." It's like, stop it. Anyways, that's what I'm saying right there. By the way, before I forget, oh my god. I do need to basically hire 2 new moderators for the YouTube live stream chats during the week. Of course, I don't want to put pressure on anyone, but I am happy to offer up 50% off of any one of my programs. Right now, I am actually pretty much already running a 20% off period just because I've started the year anniversary sale a few days early anyways. But if you are interested in becoming a moderator, please reach out to me. I'm looking for someone who I can recognize, someone who's been in the live stream chat. If you've been commenting regularly in the live stream chat or in the Discord, believe me, I know your name. I've seen you before, and do not hesitate to reach out, especially if this speaks to you, because I know that these programs can be expensive. So I'm really looking for someone on the younger side who might have had difficulty financing a program like that, but who really wants to learn, who's really dedicated, and also is a part of the community that other people respect as well. So reach out to me if that sounds like you. Be happy to take care of you, and I'd really appreciate it as well, because as the chats get bigger, things move faster and there's more and more spam. So it's impossible for one person to deal with. We've had some amazing moderators so far, but and I'm not I'm not saying that like I'm firing anyone or anything like that. It's just we need more. Daniel Zilk is fucking phenomenal. He's brilliant, but it's a job that not one man can do. We need like probably 2 or 3. Anyways, so I do want to get that out. Of course, I should also, while I'm on the same topic, all my programs are on sale basically a few days early before the 1 year anniversary of my channel. I figured, well, because a lot of people wanted to start earlier, because the earlier that you get started, the faster you're going to get great. I would give them the same discount. So, because I was doing that, in all fairness, I should announce it on video. So again, if you are interested in my programs, there is 20% off now. I will officially make the announcement on Tuesday, when it is the official 1 year anniversary of the beginning of this channel, or maybe it's Monday. It's either Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday though. The code will be year 1 in all capitals, YEAR, all capitals, and then, sorry, it's not year 1. Oh my God, that's a terrible movie that I actually just saw the other night. But the code is year 20, capital YEAR, and then the number's 20. So there we go. Again, all capital letters. And I always want to remind people, please, if you are undecided or not fully committed to becoming a trader, or at least learning this, do not consider my programs. They are not designed for you. I don't say that to sound arrogant or anything like that. It's just, for most people, my free content is going to get you 99.9% of the place that you want to be to. But if you do want to take it to the next step, if you are a diehard, if you are looking to do this typically in the sense of a profession, then yes, then that would be a good fit. That's who I'm pretty much looking for. That's who I made it for in mind. And that's also, the kind of group that you're going to be joining on Discord. So I owe it to everyone there to make sure that everyone's, basically of the same, coming from the same background. Anyways, back onto the charts. Jesus Christ, stop shilling yourself and talk about some goddamn technical analysis. Sorry about that, guys. I know that's annoying. Looks like we are turning back down. I do want to make sure that on my other account that I am getting filled. Oh, I am getting filled. Nice. All right. I had to put all my bids significantly higher, just because I want to make sure that I'm actually going to get filled on this guy. It just looks like we'll probably make another test towards the range lows. The range being on the hourly right around here, right around the 200 exponential, somewhere around 38.50, give or take a few bucks. If that breaks, then we do have some new to consider, and I would be looking for that move down to about 38.20, 38.10 ish area. So yeah, hopefully I can close a little bit more of my position pretty soon. Looks like I am the next best bid. All right, good. Okay, great. Nice $40 scalp. Or a little bit more, I suppose. Anyways, let's get back on over to... Let's look at where CME's closed on Friday. Remember, CME's closed as a major rejection right off 3,900. And let me just put you on the daily, which... Yeah, the daily looks like a very clear rejection as well. This looks like a topping dildo as far as I'm concerned. Putting on our drawing tools, you can see that this trend line has also been forming, going all the way back from late November, getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and perhaps 5 in the making tops. Why is this important? Well, this is important because, once again, we're seeing another resistance coming around this area, this very critical area of about 3,900 on CMEs, a little bit higher on spot. It feels like I have something tickling me in the back of the throat. It feels weird. Feels like I have to cough. Anyways, my point is that when CMEs open later tonight, that's going to be my probably next play as far as a legitimate trade goes. If spot is trading below where CMEs closed on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, when they open up tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, then I will be a seller on gap fill. If spot is trading above where CME's closed when they open back up later tonight, then I will be a buyer on gap fill. And again, that gap's going to be right around 38.65, 38.70 as CMEs will be trading at a slight discount, I believe, slight discount, although it should be almost 1-to-1. Anyways, you can see, we also have the 382 Fibonacci coming in right around here. And the way that this is situated does to me look like a rejection. I'm curious though, how did the weekly close out? I completely missed this, and weekly looks fine to me. It actually looks bullish to me. Weekly Stokes would be up on CMEs as well, and we should get another tick on that too. Could be forming some hidden bearish divergence, but it's weekly on CMEs is not too accurate. We just don't have enough price action data. I mean, this has been available for literally less than a year. Daily on CMEs not telling us too many unique things. We are getting the daily Stokes crossed up, rejecting getting below the bullish control zone, so bulls are remaining in control. That would certainly be a more bullish thing. But again, as long as we're essentially below the high of this potential rejection dildo, I would view it as such, just that, of a rejection dildo. So again, that's what we'll be looking on that time frame. What about the lower time frames? What about a 4-hour? 4-hour are coming down. So yeah, we do kind of see the same sort of signature, and we do have bearish divergence going all the way along the 4-hour as well. 1, 2, 3 drives and turning them down. So I would, if I was just looking at this, I would be looking for this guy to come back down to around 38.20, 38.30, something like that. If I was just looking at that. 4-hour jewel, not a signal. We actually did get a signal yesterday somewhere where I think it was either 3-hour or the 4-hour. Yeah, 3-hour right here. Yeah, 3-hour gave a signal right there. This is if you have access to the jewel. This is not an example of a perfect signal. This is an example of a decent signal, I'd say. But right here, giving you the sell. Whoops! Hey, get off there, you fuck. Giving you the sell right around here, I think, on this last up to 39.20. So I didn't get the actual high of 39.40, but did get the high of 39.20 right there, which I'd argue is the better trade. Anyways, okay, cool. We got that. Let's go look at GBTC. GBTC, I believe, closed the week out pretty bullish. So it would be bullish just looking at this guy. Actually, if you just show me the chart of GBTC, I would be bullish. I would be bullish, looking for a move higher, probably around 537, which would put spot somewhere around that 4,400 number, actually. So again, as soon as it breaks out above $5, that's going to have some implications. So while I do think that price action would probably stop around 43, 44, you probably would try higher after that, actually. Anyways, yeah, nothing really new to see here, though, unfortunately, because it doesn't trade on weekends. Let me make sure that I'm actually recording. Good. Okay, awesome. There we go. Hopefully the mic's volume is good as well. I knew that it is a little bit further away from me, so maybe this is better right here. But let's actually get back on to Bitcoin. And because it is a Sunday, we will be talking about long-term analysis, as the picture has... could potentially change a little bit, but overall, first things first. Let's see. Have I finished everything that I wanted to say? I think so. Yeah, I think so. We're seeing bearish divergence in all the lower time frames. Medium time frame also is turning around. We're in the thickness of all the major higher time frame resistances. And at a major decision point. Yes, okay, those ideas are clear, good, awesome. All right, so let's go talk about why I'm still bearish. Why do I not believe that the low for Bitcoin is in? Let's actually go over this now. I'm going to go over here to Bitstamp, and there are about 6 or 7 or plethora of things that I look for to be demonstrative of, and I actually have to pull up my other screen right now. Let me make sure that I get this. There's about 6 or 7 things that I look for on general markets to be demonstrative of a major low being put in. Bitcoin has shown about none of them to me. However, we can look at Mr. Buterin, and he actually does show some, funnily enough. But I do want to get this over on the other screen really quickly. Let's see. Okay, great. All right, cool. Let me just bring this on. Oh, it's so beautiful. I actually have I have more screens now, so I can do even more fun stuff. And now I'm going to put this window in here. Can we do this? Oh, no, we got to do this the old-fashioned way, one by one. Let's put that guy in. Let's put that guy in, and let's put that guy in. Okay, so now that I've properly set this guy up, let's have the discussion. Why do I believe that the lows for Bitcoin are not in? Well, again, the things that I look for to be demonstrative of a major market cycle low are not present, and the first and foremost thing that I look for is major volume being thrown down on the ultimate low. As you can see right here, it does look like we have massive volume being thrown down. In fact, it would, if you were just looking at it from this perspective, it would look absolutely phenomenal. But when we do pull it out, maybe let's go to a weekly now, we can see that in the context of the past, this is actually quite little. Looking at this guy right over here, when price action was literally more than 2 to 3 times the price, we still were printing actually more volume on this price action right here, the more parabolic cycle, which to me is, sorry about that, is very, 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 very important, because what I really want to be seeing is I want to see volumes similar to what we did right over here on an actual capitulation dive. Now, of course, does capitulation need to happen in the most violent way that most people are familiar with? No, but the feeling of capitulation does need to happen, which can happen either from that very violent way, which produces a massive volume spike, or from a very prolonged sideways market. I mean, like a crab market for years, most likely. Needs to actually make people capitulate. No matter how you cut it, the result is the same, but the emotion is the same, but the route can be a little bit different. So yes, I don't really see the volume that I'm looking for. Again, a good example would actually be the past market cycle, where you see major volume being thrown down right here in your parabolic cycle, then you see major volume being thrown down right here on your actual capitulation, your actual bottom. Look at this guy right here. This is more akin to this in relation to your parabolic cycle right here and right here. That's kind of how I'm looking at this price action right now. Again, I don't believe in fractals. I don't know anyone who really trades fractals who's super successful or anything like that. Again, being a market maker on the floor of New York Stock Exchange, ARK, and then later above Chicago Board's Options Exchange, never met anyone who used that, or Elliott Wave for that matter. But we can get into that discussion another time. I'll have another autistic rant, I'm sure. But we do see a lot of similarities between this area right here and this area right here. More importantly, let's get back on the discussion. So the volume's not good enough. And also, this is measured in coins traded, not dollars traded. Let's actually look at the dollars traded, BTC dollar volume. And then we'll actually get on to a counterpoint that a lot of people have been spouting off recently, but I do have a few things to say about it. Anyways, when we look at it versus the dollar, this is not fucking good enough. I mean, this in relation, it is nowhere near. This is more than 300% higher volume that we did in relation to dollars at the actual, on the actual parabolic cycle. Now let's actually go over to the counterpoint. A lot of people are talking about Binance right now, saying that Binance is the leader. So Binance, is the one to watch. Well, there's two very, 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 very easy ways to deflect an argument like this. And the first and foremost is let's actually look at it. And first and foremost, now that I actually see it right here, you can see that this volume right here, still not fucking good enough. I mean, I don't know how people are cutting this right now. But more importantly, when I look at this, where is all this volume being thrown down? Where is all this volume being thrown down? Because remember, people are looking at this volume right here on Binance saying capitulation already happened because Binance is the market leader. Well, I would severely argue this. All the volume is being thrown down right on this major selling delta right here. This shows a very gross misunderstanding of how capitulation actually works. When capitulation actually happens, the volume you're getting is not necessarily from selling. It's from buying, because you're putting in the fucking low. When you have another 3 weeks going lower, that's not right. So again, understand this fucking fact that if it is going to be the actual capitulation, you want to see the buy volume actually take you out. That's the whole idea, because what we're looking for is a major market player, like a major, I hate using the term whale, but I guess that's maybe the most colloquial word to use or best understood. But someone with extremely deep pockets, 500 million plus. They need to step into the market and basically buy up as much as possible, because they know that they will never be able to get a lower price ever, because once they step into the market, well, their volume goes into the signatures, and it's very easily picked up and everyone else jumps on. So it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and well, they'll never be able to, quite literally can't go low after that. I mean, of course, weird things happen, no doubt about that. But in a good example, that's what I'd be saying. So we don't really have that right here. More importantly, if we actually do look at the dollar volume, dollar volume as well, even if you were making that mistake, this volume right here is still nothing compared to this volume right over here. And make no mistake either that Binance was very young in this area. It was not the leader here. It became the leader when shitcoins took over later. So Binance and BitMEX for that matter. So again, I think that that's very misleading to actually suggest that as, or at least that would be my counterpoint to that. So two very important things that just it's not the same. If we saw the same sort of user base on Binance as we see right over here in relation to what we saw right over here, then we can make a relation. But I'd imagine that this would be even higher and more distorted. But remember, Binance was actually not even accepting signups during this time when Bitcoin was going the most crazy from like December to February or something like that. Something like that. I remember. Please comment if you do remember the actual timing of that. But Binance literally closed down their sign up forms. You couldn't sign up. So again, people talking about that. I would disagree. Strongly disagree. Let's go back on over to Bitstamp, and again, Bitstamp is the best one for historical relevancy. So what else? The volume not good enough. Well, also the reaction is not good enough either. When we're talking about a major reaction off of a major market cycle low, I want to see a very quick up, a very quick and violent up to be demonstrative of that major market cycle mover actually jumping into the market and forcing and putting in his fucking dick essentially. What do we see right now from bottom to top is about a 25 to 26% move, but that was done over the course of about 3 weeks. Over the course of the next 15 weeks, we've managed to do about the same, about a few percentage points less. Well, let's actually go down to the last time that Bitcoin actually capitulated and see what the reaction was the week of. In 1 week, this is not fucking 3 weeks, as we just talked about. In 1 week, we got up 69%. 69 fucking percent. That is more than double, almost triple what we did in December. Let's look at another example of capitulation. Now, this was an example of capitulation right here on last year, February, down to 6,000. Whenever you move down from 20,000 to 6,000 in the span of a week, or a couple of weeks, that's a big deal. Now, how much did we bounce up in that first week? 50%. Again, 50%. This is Bitcoin's personality. Remember, all trading assets have a very similar, conjoining factors, because we're all dealing with human psychology. We're all imperfect. That's how these chart formations are very similar amongst different assets, and then the particular asset will have its own personality. I've noticed this in all different trading assets. Whether it's equity options, which is where I come from, forex, magic internet money, and commodities, all the same shit. As far as that goes, again, humans. We're all humans. It's a relating factor. And we're all humans programming bots as well at the same point in time. Anyways, 50% right here in 1 week. Again, 1 week, double what we did in 3 weeks. Do we have any other good examples? You could say that this was right here, maybe. 40% in a week, not bad. Again, much better than what we've done so far. So again, the percentage reaction, the reaction that I'm looking for is not good enough either. Also, the time spent at the low, very, 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 very uncharacteristic of Bitcoin, because we've just been looking at it on a weekly from right now. Let's actually go down to a daily. Bitcoin spent 1, 2, 3, 4 days at the low. Is that synonymous with the way that Bitcoin puts on its lows? No. In fact, Bitcoin, I'm on a daily right now. I could put this down to a fucking 10-minute, and you'd see that Bitcoin spends about 10 minutes within a few percentages of its lows. Right here, this in 1 day. In 1 day, I believe that we actually rallied more than 32%. We rallied in 1 day more than 15 works of week off the current low. Same thing, back over here on the actual capitulation of 2014, something like this, about 40%. So again, very, very quick. And again, I could have put that on a fucking 4 hour and you would have been able to see it. In fact, let's actually go to a 4 hour. Let's see what a 4 hour does. Does a 4 hour beat 3 weeks worth of work for what we have going on currently right now? Well, let's go check it out. Okay, that was your first 4 hours, 9%. So maybe not. What about your first 8 hours? Yes, 23.5%. So pretty much synonymous with it in fucking the next 2 4 hour dildos. And we could do the same thing for the 2014, 2015, but I don't want to spend too much time on this as there's just too much more to cover. Anyways, let me make sure that my other screen's okay. All right, did I get filled? Got filled on some, but not everything. That is life. That's life, son. God damn it. Anyways, okay, so we spoke about the reaction. We spoke about the time spent. We spoke about the volume. What else do we have? Well, let's also look at the MVT signal, right? Let's go put on the MVT signal. Again, the MVT signal, if you're not familiar with it, is the network value divided by the daily transaction value and then interpolated using this 90-day forward, backward, smooth movement average, I believe. Anyways, as you can see right now, this thing, what does it really do? It basically calls tops and calls bottoms pretty fucking well. Did we get into the area where it typically bottoms out around? No, this thing typically calls bottoms below the 50 marker. We got all the way down as far as a 72, and more importantly, we're actually crawling our way back up to where this thing typically calls tops. This thing will start to denote a top above 140. We are currently above 130 and rising very rapidly. So we're actually seeing divergence between the MVT signal and price action, which is not good. That would be bearish divergence. So again, looking at something like this, we can see we can back test very quickly. Look at the last time that we actually flashed green was right here, the area that, I've been kind of relating as an example of capitulation. Obviously that was not full on capitulation because it was not the mark cycle low, but I would argue that we had capitulation right here. And then we had another bubble going on in this area. That would be my argument. You saw a lot of alt seasons, a lot of bullshit go on. And I don't believe that it was necessarily done. You see green being flashed right here before the ultimate turnaround, before Bitcoin, went on from about $400 to $20,000. Have you heard of it? The last time before that was right here on the actual mark cycle low of 2014, 2015. The time before that was this low right here. The time before that was this low right here. And the time before that was like $2, $3. Nice, not bad, Bitcoin. So again, looking at something like this, which has been perfect in the history of Bitcoin, I would say that I'm still not necessarily convinced that the low is in. And does that mean that Bitcoin can't have rallies in the meantime? No, of course not. It can certainly have rallies, but they'll just be just rallies. Just like you have your dumps in your bull market, you can have your pumps in your bear market. It's going to be up to the macro time frames need to change around, which they're nowhere near right now, which we'll go over later. But let's actually look at another indicator, the historical volatility rank. Again, always shout out to my man Bollypoor for this one. Very appreciative for this. And we can look at the historical volatility rank, which, again, if you're not familiar with this, basically tells you about the mean, or sorry, it's a mean reverting indicator that basically tells you about what the it tells you about the returns to the past prior action over a given amount of time. If I got that up correctly. Again, what does it basically do? It oscillates between 0 and 1, and 1 being where you are at the conclusion of a major move, and 0 or near 0 when you are at a very, 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 very tight consolidation. The last time that we were near 0 was literally right before the breakdown of 6,000. You probably remember that, just to put it in perspective. When Bitcoin was moving like $5 a day. You remember that shit? So anyways, what I'm really looking for on major lows and major tops as well is I'm looking for massive volatility to be thrown down. And as you can see right here, we got all the way up to a 6.6, which is okay. It's not bad, but I need to see this. I need to see this thing at least get above 0.8. I mean, really, for a major mark cycle low, 0.9 or nothing. Again, back testing it, has it been perfect? Well, called the top right here. Called this capitulation bottom right here. Called this top. Sorry, called this bottom right here. Called this bottom right here. Called this top right here. Called this bottom right here. Called this top right here. Called this top right here. Called this top right here. Called the bottom right here. Oh, perfect bottom. Called the last capitulation bottom perfectly as well. Called this top right here. And of course, we could just go onwards and onwards, but I won't bore you with the details. Anyways, my point is that while we are actually angled back up and we are above the moving average, which would suggest that we are, gearing up for another move, as far as actual major mark cycle low being put in, I don't believe it's been. So wherever this rally does go, whether it stops here, whether it does go higher into the, into the 4,000s, I would still be looking for it to be sold into at some point in time. given this. So, okay, so we talked about that. We talked about that. Let's go. Now let's go look at these. Let's go look at the Bitcoin valuations. Which, shout out to Willy Woo. I don't know him personally, but I'm a big fan. I'm a massive fan, man, because he's actually, or you, if you're watching, have put together a very unique look at the fundamentals of Bitcoin with this Bitcoin valuations chart, which. If you can see, I think I'm covering up a lot of it, but basically we're looking at a ton of different metrics. We're looking at the market cap, realized cap, MVT cap, delta cap, average cap, top cap, inflow cap, fees cap, basically all relating. And it's been found in the past that after analyzing these for a while, when these guys converge on each other, that's when our major lows are found. We have it right here. We have it right here. We have it right here. And are we doing that right now? Are we converging on each other right now? I would argue no. We're actually diverging, if anything. We're actually diverging. We're moving away from each other on all of these guys right here. Funnily enough, and this will, can I auto scale? Yeah. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Oh man, that just ruined everything. Let me just refresh this guy. Let's see, Bitcoin coming back down. Can I get some more fills? Come on, baby. We'll get back to this later as well, but there will be some more confluences with this, with some of my lower targets. But yes, I did want to talk about that. Also not denoting a loan. That has been perfect in the past. Let's go on to the longs and shorts. Longs and shorts are still in the favor of longs, which if this market were to turn, I'd really want to see these guys flipped. I'd want to see a great imbalance in the favor of the shorts over the longs. Instead, we see a lot less so right now. Actually, we see a lot less so. We have about 20,500 open shorts versus 23. I said 32. No, 23,000 open longs. That's actually not too bad. It's not too crazy or anything like that. But to me, it still is present. And more importantly, when we go over to the shorts, which are actually in real time a little bit higher, taking off all these. No, you can't make formations on the shorts chart. The shorts got down into this red box territory, which has initiated every major dump of the past year. Each and every time that it's gone down in this area, major dump. Again, this was your February double top at 12,000 last year. This was your May top at 10,000 last year. This was your August top at 8,400 last year. This was your top at 6,300 before going at 3,000 last year. And once again, we found ourselves in this range, and now we're actually getting more interest to get out of here now. So to me, this is a big deal, because if the bears are going to attack at all these major resistances that we're looking at, coming from this area, it would likely happen extremely soon. If it is going to happen, if this is the right way to be interpreting the charts, which I believe it is until told otherwise, as long as we are below that 3940-ish area, this would be telling me that they're likely to actually put on positions, from here. That has been the historical trend. Anyways, okay, cool. So we've talked about that. We've talked about the valuations. Let's go on to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, which is technically taking out a greedy. We've been greedy for a couple days, a little bit of greed, not crazy. We did get all the way to a 69 a couple weeks ago. Oh man, you guys can barely see that. Sorry about that. But you see that night spike right above my head. It's not my hair. It's like it's actual, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let's see, maybe that's better. Yeah. And overall, this thing has been damn good at calling tops as well. Each and every time that it's gotten above a 50 marker, sorry, let me make sure that you can see it, we have called tops. I mean, basically the same areas that we just spoke about. The February double top last year at 12,000, top at 10,000 in May last year, top at 8,400 in August last year, top at 6,300 before moving down to 3,000 last year. And once again, we've actually gotten above those regions, which has been perfect in the past year. Has been perfect. Jesus Christ, man, this position just does not want to fill. I need to actually make sure that I get in on this. And let's see. Okay. Nice. All right, cool. Okay, get rid of some more. Yeah, all right, I like that. Okay, cool. Alrighty, that makes me feel better. Okay, cool. So in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm on my main account on my other screen, and I'm basically just closing out the short, or a lot of it right now. I closed half. And I'll hold the rest of the half as long as we're below 3,900. So yes, that's what I'm seeing right here. So that was 7 things. Was that 7 things? We had the first 3. We had MVT, we had historic volatility rank, that's 5. We had valuations, 6. We had shorts and longs, that's 7. We had crypto fear and greed index, that's 8. Nice. All right, 8. Nicely done. Also, there's one more actually, so we can make it 9. You want to make it 9? Let's make it 9. There's another big problem with this as well. When you do put in a major market cycle low, you don't want to return to that point ever again, because remember, understand what a major market cycle low is made out of. It's made out of a major entity entering into the market and throwing down buku fucking bucks, which we're talking like, 500 million plus, those kind of numbers. Billion, these are like billionaires getting involved in the game. They're the ones who set the floor. And when they set the floor, they cause massive, massive ripples. So much so that everyone else knows. And when everyone else knows, well, everyone kind of knows that the low is in. Right over here in 2014, 2015, look at this. Once you have this wick down, we never return anywhere within 40% of the low. Again, never again. In this area right here, the time before that, 20%. Nowhere near. We barely even rallied off 20% of the lows currently. So again, going back on over here, have we done this? We've returned within 8.5% of the prior lows. So again, just another thing that I would not be too comfortable with. Again, does this I keep on saying again, Ifini is going to hate me for this. But here's the thing. Does this mean that you can't have a rally in your bear market? No. Of course you can. Yes, of course you can. If that's right terminology of that, right placement of my verbs and nouns. My point is, you're going to have your rallies. The higher level time frame perspective, though, is still, I would be looking to be a seller on those major rallies. The question is, how high do they get? We could have one scenario where right now all of the major resistances are coming in around this 3,900 level, and this, that could very well be it. By the same token, there are a lot of bullish features, and if 3940 is broken to the upside, I would not want to be bearish. I would not want to be holding a short, as I would be looking for a quick move, like I said, to about 42. So now let's get into the discussion of what I need to see. Granted, all the other things that we just talked about, that they would be nullified if these next things that I talk about happen. These macro triggers is what I refer to them as. And basically, if Bitcoin actually both opens and closes a weekly dodo above this purple 200 exponential moving average, then yes, I would become a little bit more bullish for a move deep into the 4,000s if we both open and close above the 200 exponential, which is 4,100. So that would be a big deal. I'd actually drastically change my personal tune on this. This has been holding us back ever since we initiated the more aggressive dump portion of this downtrend. The next ones are significantly more important, however. The monthly, going back to the monthly right now, the monthly has the green 50 right here. If that gets taken out to the upside, that's not it. It's the 21 exponential right here at 5,200, where if Bitcoin could regain that, then I would instantly become bullish. No questions asked from my side. But is that the most traditional way of doing things? No. The most traditional way would be saying, hey, getting back above 6,000, the area of breakdown would be no reason to be bearish after that. So for now, you can see that we are struggling around, even below the 50 exponential, which again, as long as we be holding by this area, which we're actually below it right now by a few bucks. I look at these two moving averages right here, the red 10 simple and the yellow 20 exponential, which are approaching each other, which is not a good sign. That's good. If they do confirm a cross at the end of the month, we have a long fucking month to go, then that will be the impetus for likely breaking this consolidation, as we looked at on the 3-day dodo time frame and the 2-week dodo time frame, to the downside. Just another confluent factor with this. So all these things really coming into view with each other, coming full circle. So yes, those were the three things. Now let's go into some future projections. Let's talk about this. I am a long-term believer in Bitcoin. While I've been talking some doom and gloom, I am a long-term believer in Bitcoin. I think it's some crazy numbers which we're going to look at right now. But I do want to preface this conversation by saying, wait a second. Because I wouldn't be making decisions based off this, but I've gone ahead and done and put on the matrix for my BLX index. And let me explain this. The dotted trend lines that you see here all represent a support trend line of a major parabolic cycle. This first one will be getting in 2010 and 2011, anchored right here, broken in 2012. That becomes the governing factor, your highs essentially in 2013 and 2014 of the next market cycle. Then for that market cycle, we've created another support trend line right here, anchors in 2011, 2012, gets broken in 2015, and that becomes the highs of our parabolic market cycle in 2017, 2018 market cycle, or 18 that we just saw right there. Then we created another support trend line line for this next one anchored right here and right here on the turnaround, and that was broken on the move down below 4,000. Which, does that become our governing factor going forwards in our next parabolic market cycle? Does that become our potential highs? Perhaps, and if it does, well, let's actually see what it, we could come up with some price predictions for each and every year. So let's see what would it be January of 2020? A potential high of around like 13,000. What if we go to 2021? Let's see how fast this rises. 30,000. What if we go to 2022? 88,000, not bad. What if we go to 2023? 250,000, not bad. I think I'll hodl a little bit. Oh, there we go. Bitcoin finally coming down, and I'm getting filled, so that's nice. All right, thank you. Come again. Okay, great. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that was gonna be annoying if I didn't get filled on the rest of that. Let's see. Oh, coming down a little bit more. All right, I got one more. Yeah, I'll keep that. Okay, cool. Nice. Alrighty, so now I just have 25% of my position left. Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, we spoke about that. Let's go back to the VLX index right here, and let's go back to the weekly. And I want to pull out a couple more things. So let's look at these. You'll notice these solid trend lines right here and right here. These are to be related to this trend line right here and this trend line right here on current times. We could do this for every market cycle, but it's just easier because these are on the same window pane essentially. And this first solid trend line right here, and also again this guy right here, is very important because it held in the first consolidation before the bull trap of that market cycle right here, where we break out. And then we come back down and we retest this broken trend line as support, bounce 1, bounce 2, bottom. Well, we've actually put in the same signature right here, where you have this consolidation. We break out of the consolidation. It leads into the bull trap at 8,400. And then we crawl our way down. And where we found support on this first bounce off of 3,100, right on that trend line. Also the 200 simple, by the way. But, perhaps we could come up with some price projections if we follow this guy down, or sorry, some date projections if we follow this guy down, which, as time transpires, we will see, if we can get on to our actual, we should actually look at price projections first for downside targets. But, if we were looking at low 2000s, that would suggest a timing somewhere around April, actually. If we were looking at, I know a lot of people are looking at 1,000, 1,300-ish area, that would suggest a timing of around middle of June. Do I think that Bitcoin gets down around there? Actually don't. I know a lot of, like, the super bears are saying 1,000 and below. I don't think that Bitcoin goes that low. I think that my personal opinion is Bitcoin settles somewhere probably around like 1,869 or low 2,000s. Something like that makes a little bit more sense to me. And then spends a lot of time around 2,500, between 2,500 and about 3,000, something like that. Would make sense. Then more importantly, the secondary trend line right here, the secondary trend line right here and right here, you'll notice that when Bitcoin breaks out of it, that is actually the beginning of the bull market. That is quite literally the first indication. Once we broke out right here, beautiful entry. And actually Bitcoin is quite close to it right now, funnily enough, which is currently coming in around, basically hooking around with the yellow 21 exponential on the weekly, which would be around 4,400-ish area. So that's why I'm also saying if Bitcoin were to break out from here to the upside, I would be looking for this guy to actually stifle the reaction. So yeah, now we actually got ahead of ourselves, but let's actually talk about, if I don't believe that the low Bitcoin is what would make me bearish on Bitcoin, or sorry, where do I think Bitcoin is going, basically? Because I just spoke about some targets, but let's actually speak about how I'm getting there. And this is only appropriate if we break the 200 simple to the downside, which again, the 200 simple is coming in right around 3,400. If we break the pink 200 simple on the weekly though, again, 3,400, if that breaks on a higher level dildo time frame, I will become instantly very bearish for a move into the mid 2000s, right around this 2300 to 2600 blue box territory right here, which is the 886 Fibonacci retracement, which is actually where Bitcoin did bottom out in 2014 right here. We do have some nice historical horizontal trend lines coming around this area, as you can see, and some nice massive high value nodes being thrown down on the volume profile, as you can see right here. And by the way, you will notice that as soon as Bitcoin loses 3400, the 200 simple on the weekly, then there's very little volume being shown between that area and mid to low 2000s. So it's likely to be another very quick move, just similar to how we saw price action react when the high value node of 6,000 was lost right here, all the way down to high 3000s, where we had some more business being done. Anyways, there's even more things coming around this 2500-ish area, we could say, just give or take a few $100. Let's go over here to the BLX index. We can see that the weekly 377 exponential is coming in right around this area. If we go to the monthly, we can see that the 89 exponential is coming around this area. And going back to the Bitcoin valuations chart, you will notice that this dotted line on the bottom has actually gotten the lows pretty damn well. And where would that be coming in around? Low 2000s. Also important, this top dotted line as well has been getting the tops pretty well as well. And guess where that's coming in around? My target of 90,000, or potential target of 90,000 in the years to come. So again, good confluences between the fundamentals and the actual technicals, which is where typically magic does happen. Anyways, Bitcoin being bought back up right now, so that dump not being sustained, pressure being let back up. Yeah, a lot of wicks in this area. I'm actually going to close some more. I don't like a reaction like that. Okay, let's try this. Okay, cool. Okay, anyways, yeah, getting bought back a little bit more aggressively. So yeah, that kind of rolls out the discussion right there. Let's actually now, do I want to do that really? Let's actually go down to a lower time frame. A little bit. You know what? I'll hold on to it for a second. We'll see. Again, can have a stop. It's only 25% of my position. Anyways, let's go check out the other top market cap coins as good thing to do on a nice Sunday. Let's see if there's any confluences. And of course, Mr. Buterin, the most bearish of the top three, turning all the way down. Again, looking at something like this, the clear resistance is right around 143.5. Major support right around 135. Whichever one breaks first, that's going to be the next. Same thing for Bitcoin, above 3940 or below 38, basically 3800. And we do see a lot of down markers on this guy. We do have 4-hour Stokes hinting at a fresh cross to the downside. It will be confirmed in the next 16 minutes if it stays here or lower. I believe that maybe the 6 hours crossed. Nope, 6 hours crossed up. 8-hour is down. We will be getting another tick on that guy. 10-hour is down. 12-hour is down. So again, a lot of down signals right here. The 200 exponential on the 12-hour is actually getting price action pretty well as well. Starting to look more like distribution to me. Mrs. Litecoin, what's she doing? She led the market to the upside. Is she leading the market to the downside now as well? Well, not so much, but is turning down as well. And we do see major bearish divergence on higher time frames. We do see bearish divergence on the 12-hour right here. You see 1, 2, 3 stabs. Usually 3 strikes, you're out. Daily showing the same signature. 1, 2, 3. Really bad. Typically, not really bad. This has had the best reaction out of anything. Mrs. Litecoin is the best argument for the bear market potentially getting closer to an end, but still not quite there. Still getting rejected at the most critical areas. And overall, she is in the formation of an ascending broadening wedge in this more aggressive uptrend. And in the overall, I believe she's still maintaining this posturing of nope. Actually, no. Rising channel was broken out to the upside, so fair enough if it was one. But still, with that bearish divergence, I would be looking for a price that should probably come back down to about 52.5. And let's see, are the time frames turning here too? Daily Stokes are up, 12-hour Stokes are down, 10-hour Stokes are down, 8-hour Stokes are down, 4-hour Stokes are down, 2-hour Stokes are down. Bad. So again, we do have support right here at about $56. So I'd imagine that we probably do bounce off this area. But if this area gives, if this area lets away, I'd be looking for a move down around to 53.5, and then probably 52.5 is where I'd be looking for. Overall, this looks like it wants to come down to me. And yes, is it possible that Mrs. Litecoin, turns on the fucking turbo boosters and turns around? Possibly, potentially. I mean, I've seen crazier things, but I wouldn't declare it. I wouldn't declare a bear market over for Mrs. Litecoin until she actually formally breaks out of this rising trend line, forming the top resistance of this ascending broadening wedge, which, because it is rising over time, is now coming in around almost $60. Just yesterday it was 59.5. The day before it was $50. So it's rising pretty rapidly. So she's got to put in some work soon. And then with all these bearish divergences emerging on some actual pretty powerful time frames, I would be looking for a move down. I would be looking for a move down here at the very least, to be honest with you. Again, easy trade to manage if you are taking it as well. Stop loss above here. Again, it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but that's how I'd be trading it. Let's see. Okay, what else do we got? Let's go look at, do you want to look at BNB? BNB coming down as well, joining the rest of the market. Whoops. That's my volume profile settings. Let's see. Yeah, bearish divergence on the 12-hour daily. No bearish divergence on the daily, so actually is technically stronger than Mrs. Litecoin. Actually, better chart than Mrs. Litecoin as well, healthily above this area. But again, I believe news and fundamentally driven. But it does look like it wants to come down to about 1330, and if that area fails, we'll be looking at 1280. What do we got on Zcash? Zcash. It's like a French cryptocurrency that is doing absolutely terribly. So I won't make a World War II joke here, but pick up your shit, French. Bcash and a descending triangle as well. Sorry, Zcash and Bcash, they're both the real key cash. That's another fucking cryptocurrency. Oh my god. No, they're both in descending triangles, both below all major moving averages, I believe. Tron Cash, what's he doing? Is he still getting rejected from that same area? Yes, that we looked at yesterday. We'll be looking for support right around here, right around 2.18 cent. I'd be bearish as long as you're below 2.46 cent. Would be looking for a bounce relatively soon, though. Relatively soon. Neocash coming down as well, but resting right on support. If it does get out this area at $9, I would be looking for 860. EOS Cash, gonna probably be the same thing. Actually, looking like one of the more strong, but major resistance at $4 even. Good support at 370, whichever one breaks first. Let's go look at Ripple Cash. What's Ripple Cash doing? Are you still in ascending triangle too? Oh no! Don't tell me. Tell me it ain't so, Mr. Ripple's nipples. Free the nipple. Free the nipple out of this fucking descending triangle, man. Another rejection at the top of this triangle. Looks like below all major moving averages at the current moment in time. As long as it's below 32 cent, or sorry, 3.18 cent, I would be overall bearish on this guy. If it breaks above 3.18 cent, I would be looking for a move to 33.5 cent. That's not the critical area though. If it breaks above 34.5 cent, that's where the medium-term time frames start to get changed, and even the higher time frames as well. What about Monero Cash? I think he's been doing one of the stronger ones. Yeah, still holding above the 21. Support 49.82. Resistance basically where all these wicks are. 51 and 10 cents. Stellar Cash, what's he doing? Stellar Cash, nice move. Hey, Stellar Cash is going to have a chance to break this resistance coming off this falling channel, which typically is a bullishly resolved pattern, but finding resistance right at our next horizontal right here. Let's see how strong it can be. If it can break above 9.5 cents, that's where things get a little bit more insane. If it can, as I just don't see much stopping from about 11 cents if that were to happen. Would be a nice move. Would certainly be a nice move. Anyways, back on to Mr. Bitcoin. I'm going to start to wrap up the most important thing to be aware of on the medium time frames. Or sorry, not even the medium time frames. Let's actually just go back to the daily. Setting the medium picture. Which one breaks first, the 89 or the 21? Which one breaks first, 39.40 or 3800? Whichever one breaks first, if is going to be the next the next medium-term time frame direction. Probably for like the next few weeks. If we break to the downside, I would be looking for a quick move down to 3650 and probably beyond to the range lows over time at 3400. If we break to the upside, it would be looking for a quick move to about 4150, 4200, and then probably higher over time as well to 4350 to 44 after that. So again, that's going to do it for today's video. This was a nice short and sweet. No, sorry, a very long video. I do apologize about that. But hey, that's what this channel is for people who really want to get deep down and dirty into this sort of magic internet money analysis business, because I'm fucking autistic and I have all day to do this. This is what I do for a living. So I need more people to talk to is really what it comes down to. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. As always, I want to be wishing you a very happy, a very special Sunday. Go pray to Go Jesus. He is the one true Lord and Savior. And if you don't know who Go Jesus is, well, we need to bring him back, actually, which we will be bringing him back, because God damn it, I love Go Jesus. You should too. Anyways, that's not a religious statement. If you, whatever deity that you pray to, or if you don't believe in one, well, I hope that the holy day is good. What do you say to that? I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. I can just wish you well. That's all I can do. I would just like to wish you well. Wish you a very happy Sunday, and I'll be back on tomorrow with some more video and live stream action. Looking forward to seeing you there. If not, well, again, happy times, and take care.